Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Cameron. If you're new here, I'm finishing up my freshman year at St. Louis University, but obviously I'm not at St. Louis University right now. I'm at home in Kentucky, but I wanted to do a quick video about my experience as a freshman at SLU on campus and talk about the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like as much, and just give you guys a good idea of what it's really like to be a student at SLU, because obviously you can't really be doing college tours right now, and I know a lot of people are making decisions about where they're going to go to college, and I wanted to make a video really telling you guys what it's really like to be a student. Also, I got this video idea from my new friend Amina, so make sure you go check her video out and get even more information about SLU and another perspective, because everyone's experiences are different. So let's get started. Also, if you are not new here and you watched my last video, this is where my blue hair is now. It's like a weird turquoisey green, so because it's like washing out and it's like fading, so that's interesting. So I kind of look like I have green hair, so sorry about that if you were wondering why my hair looked green. It's because I dyed it blue. So I first want to talk about my favorite things about SLU, and I wrote them down obviously because I can't remember everything. My first favorite thing about SLU was Grease, and that is where I lived my freshman year until Corona struck and took that away from me. Grease is one of the older dorms on campus. It is community style bathrooms, so you know, you walk down the hall to your shower and you walk down the hall to go pee. So it's kind of old fashioned, but it really was a lot of fun, and I just really loved the community in Grease and just all of the people, and it's just such a fun place to be. So if you're worried about like having to live in Grease because people say it's like the crappy dorm or whatever, it's really not. Like, you have a sink in your room, so you don't have to like leave to brush your teeth or anything like that. So it's not like as bad as it could be. And I personally just love it so much. I had so much fun making friends, and I wish I had done a dorm tour video because I was procrastinating that one too for the longest time, and then the pandemic said, sorry, you lost your chance, and now I can no longer ever do a Grease dorm tour. It was such a great place to live. All of my friends were in Grease, so you can just like go in the elevators, go up and down to your friends' floors, go in the stairs. You get a lot of exercise when the elevators stop working and you have to take the stairs. If you're concerned about having to live in the crappy dorms, don't be, because there is so many positive things that come from living in a dorm like Grease that's community style, that's kind of, it's not luxurious to say the least, but it's honestly the best experience I've ever had. I loved my roommate, loved all my friends. It's just the best place ever. So that's my favorite thing about my freshman year, was living in Grease. The second thing, which honestly is tied for first or whatever, is being an athlete at SLU. It gave me a really unique experience as a freshman because not everyone's an athlete obviously, but it's just really fun because it creates a smaller community within the community of SLU. So you get to make a lot of friends with other athletes on other teams, and just like all the freshman athletes in general have kind of bonded and become friends with one another. So it just creates another level of that community aspect that you find in all areas of St. Louis University. Being an athlete is just another way to get involved in the school and to be a part of the SLU community. My teammates are some of my best friends ever, so it's really just been such a fun time. My next favorite thing about SLU is the Simon Rec Center. Now obviously every college is gonna have a rec center, but there's just something special about this Simon Rec Center. I love it so much. I actually started working there. I worked there as a lifeguard, so there's obviously job opportunities working at the rec, and on top of that, it's just a great place to go. There's like dance studios, there's workout equipment, there's a running track, there's basketball courts, there's squash courts. Okay, so I'm not kidding. If you're looking for anything to do, like going to the rec center with your friends is one of the most fun things that we ever did. We played hours of squash. Like towards the end of fall semester, we were literally playing like 2 hours of squash every single day, like on top of our practices, on top of our classes. Like we were like having so much fun playing squash that like we had to go play squash at the rec center. And obviously they had the equipment for us, so we didn't have to bring any squash rackets or anything. I don't even know where you buy those. So we were able to play squash. So that was so fun. And then also like using the dance studios, like me and Edie would just go and we would dance and we would play around, and just like, you can go, it's open till midnight on weeknights, so you can really go anytime. And it's a great place to just relieve stress and forget about like any worries with homework or school and just be active and have a great time. Also, the pool at the Simon Rec Center is a great place to be, which brings me to my next thing that I love about SLU, and that is all of the events on campus. So here's a story. My friends and I were going to the rec center to go swimming because we had just bought swimsuits off of the internet and we wanted to test them out. So we were like, you know what, it's like 8 o'clock at night on the weekend, let's just go swim for an hour or so. So we walk into the pool at the rec center and we come across all these kayaks and we're like, oh no, is the kayak club practicing or something? And they were like, oh no, like this is Kayak Battleship, you guys can join and like form a team and participate if you want. And we were like, heck yeah. So we signed our team up and we ended up having literally the best night ever. It was Kayak Club and Billikens After Dark joined together and they had this Kayak Battleship tournament going on. And basically what it was you sat in a kayak and you had a bucket and you tried to like fill the other people's buckets with water and sink them, and it was literally so much fun. And we were there for like 2 hours and it was literally an event that we just stumbled upon, and it happened to be one of the most fun things we ever did. In addition to that, we have like really cool speakers on campus. I was able to go to the Abby Wambach event, so we heard her speak and the student athletes got a copy of her book, and it was just a really great experience to listen to like such a strong female athlete and her perspective of participating in USA soccer and all of that stuff. So that was a really cool event that we got to participate in. The last event that I want to talk about was Christmas on the Quad. So it was really cute. So basically they had this really adorable Christmas on the Quad event, and it's right outside the window of Greece. So like if you live in Greece, you could look outside your window and see this event going on, and it honestly was the most adorable thing ever. It was so festive. It was right before like Christmas break and everything. It was so adorable. They had live reindeer, they had snow machines. I'm pretty sure Santa and Mrs. Claus were there. They had free hot chocolate and free sugar cookies. Literally the cutest thing I've ever seen. Like honestly, if SLU is #1 in anything, they're #1 in adorableness. Like there's so much just cute stuff that happens at SLU that makes like my heart melt. I'm like, this is so cute. Okay, the next thing I love about SLU is the beautiful campus. Everyone's gonna tell you that their college's campus is beautiful, but there's just something unique about SLU's campus because it's like in the middle of a city, but there's so much like grass and green space, and it feels like you're really enclosed in this bubble of your campus, but then you're also like 2 steps away from the big city of St. Louis, which is not like that big of a city, but it's still a good city. I just love the campus, and you can see the arch from one of the main sidewalks. And so whenever I walk from my dorm to the Chaffetz basketball arena for practices and stuff, we would literally walk and it would be like sunset, and it'd be like sunset over the arch, and it was so beautiful, and you could always see the arch and just the skyline, and it's so cool because it's like you're on this little campus, but then it's like you see the big city out there, and it's really awesome. It's also not too big, so that was another thing I loved about SLU, was that it's not too big of a campus that you're rushing to get to any classes. The longest walk you'll have is, if you go from one end to the other, it's really only like 15 minutes, which is not bad at all. So that was definitely a plus for me. I was not rushing to get to any classes. I literally could roll out of bed, since I lived in Greece, which is like right in the middle of campus. I could roll out of bed and get to my 8 a.m. leaving like 4 minutes before class started, and I'd get there on time. So it's really convenient. Everything's kind of right there for you, so you don't have to go very far to get anywhere. And then the last thing that I have of things that I absolutely love about SLU is how genuinely nice and friendly most people are. Obviously, can't say that for everyone. Haven't met everyone at SLU, so I'm sure there are probably some grumpy folks there, but for the most part, every time I talked to somebody at SLU, they were so nice and friendly. I made so many random friends just talking to people, you know, in the elevators, on campus, anywhere you go, you're gonna find someone that's gonna be so nice, and they're really just caring, and it's just such a happy environment. Like, so everyone's really just caring and generally chill, if that makes sense. Like everyone's really chill at SLU. It's not like crazy. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but like the vibe at SLU is super chill, and it's just like great stuff. So now I'm going to talk about, they're not really cons, but like things to look out for that not everyone likes. At SLU, there are personally things that I don't mind or that I like, but some people don't like these things, so I want to make sure that you are informed of things about SLU that you might need to look out for. So first thing is that it's a religious school. So SLU is a Jesuit institution, so it's basically just a Catholic school, and you will be required to take two theology classes. Well, depending on what school you're in, I have to take 2 theology classes and 1 or 2 philosophy classes, but they don't like require you to go to any church services or anything like that. They offer them, of course, but they're not gonna, like, there's no requirement to do anything church related except for take those classes. And personally, I'm not religious. I've never really gone to church. I've never grown, like, my family's not super religious, so this was something that I was a little bit worried about, and it has honestly turned out to be completely fine for me. My theology class has been one of my favorite classes that I've taken at SLU. I have learned so much, and it's just been a really like interesting class for me, so it was definitely a positive experience. I haven't had any issues with religion at SLU. They've never forced anything on anyone. It's really only a positive thing because I feel like the religious aspect of the school makes it seem even more of a community than like bigger schools or like not religious schools. That fosters that like sense of community and that sense of like togetherness. The other thing to look out for is that it's like a pretty urban campus. Although you're kind of in a bubble, you are also in a city, so make sure that that's what you want. In addition, safety is an issue that you need to be aware of. Walking around alone at night is not a good thing to do, but at the same time, it's like that literally anywhere. If you go to a state school in a small town, you are going to have to follow the same safety precautions that you would at an urban school. It's pretty much the same. Just be aware. Our DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety, and they're really good about alerting the students whenever something dangerous could be happening. So I feel safe on campus. I take the proper precautions that I would anywhere, and I feel pretty safe. That's definitely something to be aware of when considering SLU. Another thing is that we are not a football school, so obviously as an athlete, I'm aware of this. Our athletic department is very different than a lot of schools because we don't have football. We have smaller sports. We don't have like this giant king of football reigning over our athletic department, which to me is kind of nice. It makes it feel like a bit more of a community, like all the small sports really bond together. That's definitely something to be aware of. If you are looking for a school where you can go tailgate and go to big football games, you're not going to get that at SLU, which is definitely a positive thing for some people, but if that's not what you're looking for, then don't come to SLU. So there's plenty of social opportunities, especially being in the city. There's definitely like lots of restaurants and places that you can go in the city, as well as other universities. Like we have friends at Washington University, so we'll go over there and visit them. But you're not going to find that state school football frat vibe, which also leads me to my next point, which is that there's not a huge amount of Greek life at SLU. Personally, I can't really speak on this because I'm not in a sorority, obviously. But it's not your typical like frat row housing for Greek life. Like I know at the University of Louisville, which was right next to my high school, there's this whole street with literally like all the frat houses, and that's not what you're gonna find at SLU. They do like live together, but it's like apartments or dorms that are specific for frat housing and sorority housing. So it's not that classic frat house, sorority house vibe. But if you want to participate in Greek life, there's definitely like the opportunity to do that at SLU. It's just the difference, I would say, between SLU and like a school like Alabama. People often tell me that at Alabama you really have to join a sorority, and that a lot of the social, like most of the social parts of the school come from the Greek life, the sorority, and the fraternity. That's not the case at SLU. If you want to participate in the Greek life at SLU, totally can, like you have that option, but majority of the social events for everybody like don't come from Greek life, so you don't have to join it in order to like participate in things, if that makes sense. So it's not like you have to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative for you and your college search. And if you have any more questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel for more content over Corona break, over this pandemic. I'm gonna try and make more videos and post more frequently. And good luck with all of your college searches. I hope this helped you with your decision on St. Louis University.